Adidas and Nike creating NFTs just might make the NFT market explode. Adidas just launched their NFTs in collaboration with the Bored Ape Yacht Club. Nike just bought Artifact for an undisclosed amount of money. Hint, hint, it was probably north of $100 million. And massive fashion brands like Louis Vuitton, Dolce Gabanna, and Gucci are getting into the NFT space. So why is this such big news? Who even cares if large fashion brands are getting into NFTs? You're just here for the art, right? Well, today we're going to be discussing how major fashion brands getting into NFTs is going to influence the NFT market. I'll be showing you how these brands are already implementing NFTs and how you can potentially profit from them. I'm Devin Cook. Let's talk about high fashion NFTs, and welcome back to Dev Money. Now, in order for you to understand why the fashion industry getting into NFTs is so monumental, you need to understand how large the fashion industry is. And let me tell you, it's massive. It's the fourth largest sector with a labor force over 3.3 million people and a value over $3 trillion. And just in 2019, Americans spent almost $380 billion on, wait for it, apparel and shoes. That's right, apparel and shoes, almost $380 billion. Let that sink in. That's a massive number. LVMH, which is the company that holds massive brands like Louis Vuitton, Givenchy, Sephora, and Fendi, and a bunch of other brands, has a market cap of over $400 billion. Nike has a $250 billion market cap. Dior has a $140 billion market cap. Adidas is at about $50 billion market cap, and Lululemon is just shy of $50 billion. And the Swatch Group, which owns popular watch brands like Tissot, Breguet, Longines, Hamilton, Omega, Blancpain, and Harry Winston, has a market cap of about $75 billion. So hopefully all of that helps you understand how large the fashion industry is and how much money is already being poured into it. But you may be asking yourself,
if all of these brands are already so massively successful and have market caps in the tens or hundreds of billions of dollars, why would they want to get involved with NFTs? I mean, they're just JPEGs, right?
I mean, seriously, maybe only 10% of people actually know what NFTs are, and the amount of people actively trading and being involved in the NFT space is even much less than that. So why would these massive brands want to get involved? Well, here's the very simple answer to why all these brands are getting into NFTs. They want more money. And can you really blame them? NFTs have insanely high profit margins, so it makes sense that other big brands would want to get involved with NFTs and leverage their success so that way they can increase their bottom line. Because think about it this way. If you're working at your job, you have no idea what NFTs are, and your boss comes to you and says,
"Hey, Jake, Chris, whatever your name is, go look into NFTs, start selling some NFTs, and I'll pay you an extra $50,000 or maybe even $100,000 this year on top of your salary."
I'm betting in that scenario that you would get involved into NFTs pretty quickly. And obviously these big brands don't have a boss offering them a bonus to get involved in NFTs, but at the same time, they kind of do. And that's because the person that in a roundabout way is actually in charge of these companies and whether or not they stay in business is us, right here, every consumer. Because if everyone stopped buying Louis bags, or everyone stopped buying iPhones, or everyone stopped buying Air Jordans, no matter how good their marketing is, no matter how perfectly priced those products are, it doesn't matter what the product is, they won't sell if nobody wants to buy them. And the NFT market has signaled in a strong way to these big brands that people want NFTs and they want them now. So that's why all these big fashion brands are gearing up to start selling NFTs. So what fashion brands are already getting involved with the NFT space? Well, we had Givenchy enter the NFT world with a new collection of 15 NFTs that were in collaboration with the artist Cheeto. And Dolce Gabanna used to have the fashion NFT record when they launched their 9-piece NFT collection that were sold alongside physical couture items. The collection sold for almost 1,900 Ethereum, which is almost $6 million. And since then, that record has been eclipsed from Adidas with their new NFT drop, but we'll talk about that a bit more later on. And the popular handbag brand Hermes sold out 100 digital Birkin bags known as Meta Birkins. They featured bright colored faux fur, patterns, and even depictions of famous artworks, including the Mona Lisa. And while each Meta Birkin bag was sold for just 0.1 Ethereum initially, the prices have since skyrocketed, even reaching levels that the normal physical Birkin bags sell for, about $40,000 or so. Gucci has also entered the NFT space with a film inspired by its recent Aria collection as part of a newly unveiled auction at Christie's. And Burberry, in collaboration with Mythical Games, has created its own NFT that is housed in the Mythical's game Blanco's Block Party. The limited edition and limited quantity Burberry NFT has been named Sharky B, and essentially it's just a shark figurine that has been adorned with the TB Summer monogram that can be upgraded and sold in-game as per the usual Blanco's Block Party mechanics. And Burberry also released some NFT accessories that can be applied to any Blanco in the game as well. And as part of the 200th birthday celebration of Louis Vuitton's founder, they released an NFT game called Louis the Game. And in the game you get to take the role of a figurine named Vivian, and players make their way through different beautifully animated worlds and you collect candles on the way to a birthday celebration. But what's most interesting about Louis the Game is that 30 NFTs have been embedded along the player's journey. And 10 of those NFTs were created in collaboration with Beeple, who currently has the record for the most expensive NFT ever sold at $69 million. And in addition to that, NFTs within the game are collectibles and at this point cannot be resold. Now let's talk about Adidas. Now Adidas getting into the NFT space has been massive news because it's a much more attainable brand than some of those others that I've just been mentioning. And they're collaborating with Bored Ape Yacht Club, Punk's Comic, and GMoney. And they launched and just sold out their entire 30,000 NFT collection called Into the Metaverse for 0.2 Ethereum each. And that means that they now hold the current fashion NFT record because their NFT collection sold for north of $20 million. And they're doing some pretty cool things with this NFT collection, because if you have one of these Adidas NFTs, you're going to be able to claim some exclusive merchandise in 2022 at no additional cost. And you're also going to have access to a metaverse virtual land experience in 2022. And so they're doing a really good job, in my opinion, at combining the digital as well as the physical when it comes to NFTs and utility. And if you want to learn more, go look on their website. They've got a lot of great information. And if it's not enough that Adidas is now launching NFT collections, Nike stormed the internet when they announced that they had bought the popular NFT brand RTFKT Studios. Now, if you're not aware, RTFKT Studios is a fashion brand that has sold other NFT collectibles like shoes and other items in the past, and they've also just launched their CloneX Avatar project, which sold out completely. And Nike said that this acquisition is another step that accelerates Nike's digital transformation and allows us to serve athletes and creators at the intersection of sport, creativity, gaming, and culture. We're acquiring a very talented team of creators with an authentic and connected brand. Our plan is to invest in the RTFKT brand, serve and grow their innovative and creative community, and extend Nike's digital footprint and capabilities. And they also said that the terms of the deal won't be disclosed, meaning we don't know how much they bought RTFKT Studios for, but knowing that RTFKT Studios has already done 9 figures in sales, they probably spent at least $100 million to acquire RTFKT Studios. And after that acquisition announcement on the 13th of December, we saw a 2-day spike in OpenSea volume with over $150 million in volume on the 13th and the 14th. And this signals that Nike making an acquisition in the NFT space is really driving more people to get into NFTs, or at least to spend more money on NFTs. And a significant amount of that spike had to do with people buying the RTFKT NFTs because those saw a massive jump in price when that announcement came out. And this is exactly why I say that Adidas and Nike getting into NFTs is gonna make the market explode. Because just from that Nike RTFKT acquisition announcement, we saw that massive uptick in sales, which we hadn't seen for quite a while. So what's going to happen when Nike and RTFKT start releasing some NFTs? And what's going to happen when more brands, more large brands get into the NFT space? The NFT market is just going to continue to build and grow, which is a great thing for everybody. Now be aware that brands getting involved with the digital space and digital wearables is nothing new. This has been going on for a while. The only new thing about this is the implementation of blockchain technology with all of these wearables and these avatars. For example, do you remember the Nintendo Wii, which came out many years ago now? And I remember getting one and being so excited because you could create your own digital avatar called a Me. And you could customize it and make it exactly how you wanted, and then you could even store it within your remote, so if you took your remote to your friend's house, you could play with your Me on their Nintendo Wii. And Apple in recent years took emojis to the next level by allowing people to create their own memojis, which is really just an emoji that you can customize and make however you want. Gucci has developed Fortnite skins in the past, and Burberry has made skins for some of China's biggest video games. And these days, personal avatars are bigger than ever, especially when we have Twitter being stormed by all these profile pictures from the NFTs that popular influencers are using. Notable examples are people like Jay-Z, people like Steph Curry, people like Post Malone, and even Snoop Dogg. And NFTs really have become somewhat of a status symbol across the internet, just like owning a Richard Mille or having a Birkin bag has been. Now, how will brands continually implement NFTs throughout throughout 2022 and into the future? Well, I think we're gonna see a lot of brands doing what Adidas has done, and I think they're a really great example because, as I mentioned, they've taken an NFT and tied it to something digital as well as to something physical. And if you can influence people to buy your NFTs by saying, hey, you're gonna have this NFT which is gonna have value, but also you're gonna have access to an exclusive club or an exclusive piece of merchandise, that's really gonna be enticing to a lot of people. Now, for people who don't like NFTs because they think, well, they're just JPEGs, they're just digitals, I can take a screenshot of it just fine and have it on my phone, well, tying the NFT to something physical is gonna help alleviate some of those concerns and get some other people involved in NFTs. And I suspect that Nike is gonna be doing something similar in the future as well, because in the past, RTFKT Studios has allowed you to forge your NFTs, which basically means you get to redeem it for a physical version of that NFT. So imagine that Nike and RTFKT release an NFT, and that NFT allows you to redeem a special RTFKT branded version of Jordans that you can only redeem and buy by having the NFT. And a lot of NFT projects recently have also been trying to position themselves in a way to get collaborations with big fashion brands, the most notable being Hypebeast. They're a fashion NFT project and in the future could potentially see some really big name collaborations. And in the high-end watch industry, there's a lot of talk right now about NFTs being included with the sale of popular watch brands like Rolex, Patek, AP. So that way, if you buy one of those watches, you get an NFT alongside with it that will authenticate the watch. So if you ever go sell that watch in the future, you can include that NFT as an authentication to the new buyer. So how can you potentially profit off of all of these fashion NFTs? Well, if I were you, I would be watching a lot of the fashion brands really closely and a lot of the NFTs that they're collaborating with. The number one right now that I would be watching is Nike and RTFKT. I would be keeping tabs on them to see what they're doing, what they're releasing. That way you can potentially get into those NFTs early, you can get whitelisted maybe, and then you can get some of those NFTs. And you should also keep tabs on some other brands like Louis and Gucci as well. But to me, Nike and Adidas are some of the brands you should be watching even more because they have some massive resources, especially Nike. And if you've ever looked into the sneaker industry, you'll know how big it is. And some people make a really good living just buying and reselling sneakers. And I'm not saying it will happen, but there's some potential and there's some good signs that sneaker NFTs could become really big in the future, especially now that we have these Nike collaborations and these Adidas NFTs that are dropping. And it's tough to say with brands like Nike because we don't really have any information on what they might be dropping with RTFKT Studios, but they're definitely on my potential mint NFTs watch list. And Hypebeast is another project that I would be keeping tabs on because they've created a massive following, and if they can deliver in a massive way, potentially that could become really profitable. So thanks for watching. Remember to smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.